we have whole strings of misunderstandings and miscommunications that come just due to lack of clarity. Not that we're not on the same page. We're just not being clear about being on the same page. Already, learning how to enter prompts has helped me learn how to be more clear and concise in my communication. And that has really nothing to do with the data that comes back from ChatGPT. It has everything to do with me learning a skill in order to be effective with ChatGPT. Does that make sense?
Absolutely, it does. I'd like to circle back, but I first want to start with what you mentioned is not being so reliant on a tool. And I think that's good across the board. Even if we had people doing this work instead of ChatGPT, we don't want to be so reliant and blindly blindly take the work. It's important to double check, do due diligence, and regardless of whether it's a person or a bot. That is. So I'm really glad you brought that up, because I think that kind of gets lost a little bit. It's just like, because it is amazing. I mean, when you see it just put all this information in a matter of seconds, just like, oh my gosh. And you could scan it and it could be pretty on point. And so it makes it easy to be like, oh, let me just copy paste this. But no, it's important to double check all the work, just like you would anyone else.
And I want to give a shout out to like my previous employment life as a quality analyst and really double checking quality of things, because that gave me the skill to understand that no matter how good someone or something is, it's not speaking to their skill set. It's speaking to the fact that, there are flaws built into any system.
Yeah.
So understand that all things are flawed in certain points. So just be willing to accept that as part of the given and move on. Like, double check, move on. It's okay.
Agreed. And yeah, I mean, this tool for self-help, I feel like, is really interesting, because with the correct prompts, I mean, even just exploring it yourself for personal, like self-help, and I mean that literally, not self-help for other people, but self-help actually for yourself, right? You're saying practicing with ChatGPT is an environment that can be really safe. No one's making fun of you. So you can ask the questions. You can be quote unquote wrong. You can, all the things that you may not feel comfortable doing in front of people. ChatGPT can be that vehicle and that way to do that. And unintentionally, that's very compassionate in and of itself. And so we can utilize that, and we can gain our skills, acquire skills of asking the correct questions, which if we can get better at asking questions of ChatGPT, then we can start doing our own better questions to ourselves for inner reflection. Yeah. And so the more that we do that, then it becomes kind of the symbiotic relationship. And if you ask it to approach it as, for example, you're the world's best self-help coach. Like, you put that first, right? Mm-hmm. And you say, okay, here are the things I'm struggling with. With compassion, empathy, and a connective approach, how would you help me? Just even that alone could be an incredible start to understanding and getting you on board. Maybe if you just don't feel comfortable talking to someone yet. And so you can get yourself moving, and at the point that maybe you're like, hey, this has been great, I've moved a lot, but I really need someone who is not just pulling data, but someone who can really connect with me and see my potential and connect with that potential and help me get there. Then that's where a transformational coach could really come into play. So it's a beautiful next step for someone who needs this type of help and just doesn't know where to go.